Hello guys and welcome back. And first off, let me say thank you so much for all the support you've shown me after the last video, just saying I needed to take a breath and take a minute and regroup and sort this out. If anybody is dealing with depression or any kind of issues that are stopping you moving forward in life, I do have another channel which I just talk about my journey. It's nothing really that's specifically educational, it's just a diary that somebody may be able to pick a grain of something to help them from, and that's all it's for really. It's also for me to just talk and get things out. Having things out as opposed to in is better. So now I am keeping to this motto, keeping calm, just chopping on. Let's keep it simple. Today we're going to be in here for a couple of hours and we made progress on the gas filler. One gentleman made a really good point though. Give me a second. So this is the gas filler. Basically that's going to bolt onto the top of the tank. Going to be a hole there that's going to fill. And he said if I had extended this tube through the mounting, it would pretty much eradicate any chance of a leak. Now luckily I did chop something off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld that on there, and then that bottom threaded part will insert past the mounting point of the tank and be way more leak resistant. And as always, thank you to everybody who supports the channel, watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, becoming a Patreon or contributing to the PayPal pool. Tip jar really does help the channel. Also, Wife-tastic kills it on merch, as always, as in giving me the ability to wear the perfect t-shirt. Obviously covered in oil, because I think that was the XR that dumped some aspect of her fluids on me. All that stuff supports the channel tremendously, and all your comments are great. Right now I'm not very active in the comments. My headspace just isn't there to kind of, have a back and forth with everybody about ideas about the build and where I want to go and questions about it. I'll get back there, but right now I am pretty quiet in the comments section. Doesn't mean I don't read it, but as I say, I'm not too active right now. Okay, plenty of talking. Let's get on. Before I do actually start, one thing that helps me tremendously is having a clean garage. And although I didn't get to that side, this all got cleared off. Everything behind here all got cleaned out. That was about 1.5 inches thick in aluminum disc dust and everything that had fallen underneath. And I also get this all cleaned out under here as well, because we're going to be putting the exhaust back on, and obviously the tank's going to go back in, so back suspension's going to come down. So all the floor's clean, there's no dust, it's not going to get ground into the skin on my back, which is so nice. And then on this side I was able to just create a bit of a metal store down there, and also have a bit of a metal store in there as well. It's really hot outside now, and I do want to play with the XR as well. So we need to get the Mutt mobile so she can have a minute outside and I can get the XR inside to do just a few small jobs. Right, now we'll start. So I've welded on the sleeve to go underneath. Now I'm going to go full MacGyver mode, which is kind of appropriate because I love that show growing up. And I've got water in here. Now obviously wood, the bond between the two is not going to be waterproof, but I've got this clamp holding it as flat as I can, and I'm going to fill it with water and see if this seam leaks. I assume the lower part is going to leak, but I'm looking for leaks around this seam. Wish me luck. Okay, so we're up to there with water. Now yes, it's leaking out of the bottom, which is fine. Hello. So we've got a leak below the flange, because I just did one pass on that relatively quickly. Above the flange is the main concern, which right now seems to be fine. Yeah, I'm not too bothered below the flange because this is going to be sitting on a bed of gas resistant Permatex anyway. I'll do another pass on the bottom. That'll just really solidify it. That actually went better than I thought. So once again, filled filler, which doesn't leak, and new filler, which goes in from the top. So tube is on. I've ground it all really close, so it, and then kind of like countersunk at the edge of that, and then that goes like that. Just drawn the holes, going to drill those now. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hand in and underneath so I can do the nuts up. And then going to put some grease on the top of there, put the tank in, see where it makes a mark, make a hole. Bill, thank you so much for getting me this. One thing I can say, ProLift, it's so much better than the Harbor Freight garbage that I had before. This is amazing. The wheels actually move. So good. I think I can do this with paint as well, but I'd rather use this. Okay, so there's a cross in the middle now. I took the grease layer off. So make this hole bigger, see if I can see a cross. I just realised I'm a body light to put the tank up and somebody be on top and look for it, because I'll be on the bottom holding it up. Okay, drill and hope then. Okay, I really did try and do it neat, but I've been trying to get this hole in the right place for about 2 hours now. It's getting caught. Well, as you can see with my precise original guesstimation with my grease technique was about good 1.5 to 2 inches out. So it started off kind of pretty, but it's ended up fairly ugly. But there's gonna have to be a bulkhead, I think, covering this whole filler area anyway. So anyway, it's mounted. It is mounted. Just had a few hours in the garage today, and I think you can safely say she has not been this complete in a long, such a good tool, long time. So, tanks in. You can see breathers are there. There's another breather on the other side. All the evap stuff's out. As I work forward, I'm going to be removing that pipe. Suspension's all in, shocks are in, springs are in, drive shaft's in. So I've got to go to fill that hole at the back of that chassis leg, then seam seal all those outriggers moving forward, then exhaust on. It's now Tuesday and Joe is coming round on Friday to help me with the wiring and hopefully completely button it up. So I want to have the car really ready for him on the ground, totally runnable and drivable. Still got to figure out, let me show you, this angle. So that's the filler, obviously, as we all know. Now if I come here, the angle is really shallow for it to fill, and I just don't know if there is enough angle to go from here, you know, and just put the filler here, so you just, you know, when you open the trunk, boot, bonnet, whatever, hood, you fill it there, so there's no filler on the outside. Whether there's enough angle to fill the actual tank, I don't know. That's going to take some pondering, most definitely. no ramp definitely affects access for painting shots like this. Anyway, that's what it looks like right now. And by the magic of film, done, done, and done. There we go. Ran out of paint. Did the other side as well. I'll probably get a second coat when I go back to AutoZone and buy another tin. But first coat's on at least. And yes, I wore a respirator. And no, I didn't wear gloves. Damn it. This is the amount of more wiring that we got out of the car the other day. Joe, who is an absolute wiring superstar and an amazing friend, came down, and before we put the paintless kit in, which is over there, we're going to make the engine run standalone to start with, and then have the body harness running completely separately. So that's where the ECU is going to be, it's where the EWS is going to be. Got that little loom running out the back of the clocks. Got just one stalk, just the indicator stalk, because lights and stuff are going to run off the painless switch panel over there. So yeah, so it's all going to be pretty neat just in this area. Going to run the battery positive underneath the car, so we won't be having the big red cable under here and going across. It's just going to run directly underneath from the battery. So yes, that's a huge step. You know, I have just been pootling along doing bits here and there, and I bet I have enough for an episode. So let's see. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.